So, war in Israel again. And you know what? I don't really care. I just don't really care because this is so obviously another distraction, Because we've seen that Ukraine is suddenly from out of the picture. Nobody seems to care anymore about Ukraine. The money has dried up for Ukraine suddenly. And we've seen in Spain now that Ukraine is unlikely to ever become a member of the EU. We've seen that Ukraine is unlikely to ever become a member of NATO as well, not for the foreseeable future. So, the interest in Ukraine, of which there wasn't a lot to begin with, let's be honest, has suddenly dried up. And now we see this new war, we see this new conflict, we see this sudden violence spiral up. In the Middle East again, it was quiet for such a long time, and now suddenly it's there again, just when they needed it to divert everybody's attention away from shit that's actually going on back home. Isn't it like convenient, right? Isn't it convenient? So, you know what, I really don't give a shit. I really, honestly, I'm not that interested in Israel right now. I am not that interested. I am more interested in the stuff that's going on in Europe right now, the stuff they're trying to shove through in Europe right now, like the whole GMO crap that they're trying to push through, where if they go on with this, we won't know what the hell we'll be eating in our food, because the labels simply will not say if something is genetically engineered or not. Stuff like that. I mean, there's so much that's being pushed through right now, and because of this Israel shit, suddenly, people's attention is diverted, because that's what it is. It's a smokescreen. It's a diversion, and you know what? I just don't care. I mean, the only thing I do care about, though, is the poor civilians, the kids who get caught in the crossfire, who get bombed on either side, I care about them, and I'm sorry for them. But otherwise, it's just another smokescreen. And one thing I care about as well, one thing that annoys me, is, this thing goes down in Israel, in the Gaza Strip, and suddenly the European Commission decides to raise the Israeli flag on their building in Brussels. Suddenly you see Israeli flags everywhere. You see people shouting and tweeting, "I stand with Israel." I mean, screw that. I mean, honestly, are you going to stand with Israel, a country that has blood on its hands? Because they do have blood on their hands. And yeah, so does Hamas. It's not an excuse. It doesn't excuse Hamas, but neither does it excuse Israel, because of the shit that they have been doing for the past 50 years, almost 100 years, basically since 1945. It's not nice. Don't forget that last time Israel invaded the Gaza Strip, they bombed water purification facilities. They don't allow people in the Gaza Strip to leave their own city, therefore practically turning the Gaza Strip into the world's biggest open-air prison. They don't even allow the Palestinians to go fishing in their own coastal waters, in their own water. They're not even allowed to do that. People are not allowed to leave. It is a prison. And then the Israelis say, "Oh, we've got a right to defend ourselves." And what does this right to defend themselves really come down to? It comes down to a right to bomb children and bomb schools and bomb mosques and bomb churches and basically bomb a inhabited city, a densely populated city filled with women and children. And yeah, also bad guys. They're also there, but not just. And because this is the difference, This is something that people forget. Hamas, they're not nice people. No, they're not nice people. They are terrorists, sure. They shoot rockets at Israel. But on the other hand, don't forget that Israel is a fully developed modern state. The Israelis have a state. They've got an army. They've got an air force. They've got apparently the most efficient secret services on the planet. Secret services like Shin Bet, for instance, or Mossad, which apparently are the most effective, the worst secret service, the most fearsome secret services on the planet, yet somehow they missed the 500 guys in trucks that just drove over the border. This is also so weird, because don't forget that I just don't understand that shit. The Israeli border is the most heavily defended border on the planet. One of the most heavily defended borders on the planet. They literally built a concrete wall between the Palestinian territories and Israeli territories. They literally built a concrete wall that you cannot climb, with watchtowers and with army patrols and with boom gates and with machine guns and with mines and with barbed wire and all that shit. Yet suddenly, a couple of guys in trucks just drove over the border and started doing these attacks. Explain this. It just does not make sense to me how the most efficient army on the planet could not detect an invasion by a couple of hundred guys in trucks with rockets which are made out of trash. Because don't forget as well, again, Israel, inventor of what the Iron Dome missile shield, just built to shoot down Palestinian missiles, and they're good at that. But somehow this time it didn't work. Somehow they just crossed the border. It doesn't make any sense, and that's what I mean. This smells like a red herring. It smells like a complete distraction. It just does not smell right. But in the meantime, the Israelis have their own state. They have their own army. They have their own secret service. They have everything that a state has. They have everything they need. On the other hand, though, the Palestinians do not have this shit. They don't have a country. They don't have a nation. They don't have a government. They don't have an army. They don't have nothing. They're just an ethnicity, a people. So we have a state fighting a people. And you call this fair? You call this fair? So no, I don't really care about Israel right now. No, I don't. I don't think you can take sides in this, and I don't think Europe should take side in this at all. As Europeans, we need to get the hell out of this conflict. We need to stay neutral. We need to act as a neutral arbiter in this conflict, where we say we are not going to pick sides, but we are going to damn well check who the hell is doing what, and who is committing what crimes against humanity and what war crimes, and we'll get back to you at that, and we will hold you accountable, and we will force a peace, and we will build a peace, and we will do what the European Union was supposed to be built for in the first place, to create peace. That is what we're going to do. We as Europeans should not pick a side in a conflict that is not ours. We should not, because that is stupidity. And it's only gonna get worse, because don't forget, the EU, it's supposed to be there for Europe. We need to put Europe first. Europe first, not Israel first, not the Palestinians first, not the Middle East first, not America first, not any other country in the world first, but Europe first. And the EU is not doing this when they start raising Israeli flags in Brussels, and when they start projecting the Israeli flag on the European Commission building in Brussels. This is not what they're doing. They're not putting Europe first. They're putting Israel first over Europe, and this is wrong. So I just don't give a shit about Israel. I don't give a shit. Yeah? I don't give a shit about Israel. I really don't. This is a smokescreen. It smells like a smokescreen. It smells like a huge distraction. So yeah. Screw Israel. Screw Israel.